One of the high points of any village board meeting in Tinley Park is always the grilling that they are given by the excavator Michael Glotz. The citizens of Tinley Park look forward to his time at the microphone each and every meeting. Never one to disappoint, the excavator went after Mayor Seaman for his political connections and possible favoritism shown to donors like the owner of Durbin's Bar. Durbin's has been singled out by members of the community for breaking noise ordinances, fighting in the parking lot, and general disorderly conduct by patrons. FOIA requests show police are called regularly to Durbin's, but no records of fines or citations against the politically connected owner appear to be on record.
March 29th, or actually 28th, you wrote an email that you were going to Durbin's to meet Mr. McAuliffe at 10:30 in the morning after a resident made several complaints.
I've never been to Durbin's at 10:30 in the morning.
Okay, let me rephrase it then. Let me rephrase this for you. On March 29th, you went to meet Mr. McAuliffe at 10:30 in the morning. Did you or did you not? Tom McAuliffe, the owner of
I know Tom
Durbin's?
McAuliffe.
10:30 in the morning?
I don't have my calendar with me.
I can give you the
He's met at the Village Hall with me on several occasions. That would not be the first time. He's been to the Village Hall at least 2 or 3 times to meet, usually with requests most recently on the video gaming.
Okay, well, the reason I asked that is because a resident called in on over the weekend and for a noise ordinance, people fighting outside. It was after hours, and nothing was done about it. Police didn't arrest anyone. There was no citations. An email got sent to you by an Allison Tujan. Sorry if I don't pronounce her name right. And she told you, Mr. Mayor, I had a resident call this morning wanting to file a complaint against Durbin's. I live across the street on Oak Park Avenue, and she said they were blasting music with doors open, past the noise ordinance. People are fighting outside. They are very loud. She said she called the police multiple times with nothing being done. 10:30 or 1:30 in the afternoon, Mr. Seaman to Chief Newbar. Chief, I'm meeting with Tom McAuliffe at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Do you care to join me? Dave Seaman.
I did meet Tom McAuliffe and the chief that day. I guess. I mean, I don't have my calendar once again, but that meeting did occur. And that subject was raised.
It was about the
Noise. Yes.
So there was a disturbance at the restaurant. Instead of him being issued a citation, you made a personal visit with the chief of police to speak to him?
No, Mr. Durbin had asked to meet me to talk about some of his other issues, and I asked the police chief, who happened to be in the office at the time, to stop in and join us.
So 50 minutes after that email, you just happened to be having a meeting with Mr. McAuliffe that Allison sent you, asking him to join you.
That can happen.
And then that Friday, which was very odd, the same lady, Allison, hey, Mr. Mayor would like you to look into this, Chief Newbar. Can you please take care of this? And then on Monday, April 4th, he contacted Mr. McAuliffe about the noise, and he spoke to the resident. Well, if he did, why would he do this on the April 4th on Monday when you just said you guys met at 10:30 to discuss that and other issues? Why would he have to go speak to Mr. McAuliffe on the 4th when you talked to him on the 29th? I'm confused. You just,
I don't have a
it's like a
calendar.
charade of, it's like a charade of emails.
Well, thank you. Anything else?
It's just alarming that this draws the attention of the mayor and the chief of police for a bar with a liquor license. People are outside fighting, there's noise, and there's no tickets issued. But this gentleman gets a personal visit from the chief of police and the mayor. No one gets that kind of attention.
I disagree.
Okay, so you didn't, that's a very good point. That was next. The lady that called and complained several times, did you speak with her? I don't know. It just seems, is it possible? Yeah, the lady that filed a complaint gets nothing. Is it possible maybe you have anything to do with the campaign contribution? It's hard to believe that this individual and all these problems at the bar, and I forget what the gentleman's name was last meeting, he waived 100 complaints. 100 complaints he waived.
I met with you, and I did get a contribution from you.
They didn't get that. There's a reason.
Is there anything else?
Yes. The owners of Betty Bistro, or the managing partner, I don't think they're present because you already passed that, correct?
I believe the board did pass that, yes.
And when they filled out that affidavit, they had to give $5,000. It's like $1,000 per machine or something like that.
There's a license, we just talked about that earlier today. There's a $5,000 license per video gaming machine, yes.
And then you have to do the notary, it has to be official, it has to be sworn under oath, the affidavit and all that stuff, and the stamp. Correct? Well, you're the liquor commissioner. Right? If you don't have an answer, how are you going to be the commissioner?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, I applaud Betty's Bistro because they went through that process. They cut you the check. The guy swore under oath. He got the stamp from a notary public. But the application from Durbin's, who gave the campaign contribution, who gets personal visits from the mayor, his application is blank. Well, you guys redacted his name. It's black. That's it. No name, no $5,000 that the other guy had to give, no notary public. And then the fee, which is supposed to be $5,000, is zero.
No.
$0 that he gave.
You're
Well,
you're
this is what your
misreading.
FOIA produced. This is what
Well,
your FOIA gave on Friday.
I'm not the FOIA officer, so I can't explain.
Well, then correct me. And here's what a Betty.
I can get, let's put it this way. He paid the same fee that everybody else pays, all right? That's the way it works.
It's not in.
That's the way it works.
It clearly states when you turn this in, it has to be notarized. You have to give your $5,000, and it has to be sworn in under oath, just like Betty's Bistro. See all the stamps? And on this page, the circle shows $5,000. I don't see any of that on this page. It's not even dated when he filled it out. This one's dated. Congratulations to Bistro, January 25th. There's no date whatsoever on this application. Did he fill out an application for the old sports station, or was that just a phone call?
The old sports station was denied.
I know. Was that through an application or through a phone call?
No, he was in my office, and he talked about it, and I said I wasn't very happy with that location for the reasons that were mentioned earlier in this meeting. I don't know if you missed it.
Yeah, I had to run home. So, okay, so then he spoke to you, so he didn't have to do the $250 application fee then, because he just got the personal touch.
I've told people no on many occasions that have come looking for liquor licenses, and I don't ask them to fill out a license request to get told no.
Or pay the fees for the machines.
That's a state decision. I mean, they've got to allow the machines before some of that stuff can happen. As I understand it, I'm not the sequence of events when it comes to the state process.
When will that $5,000 be paid?
Probably when the machines go up.
There you go. So it wasn't even paid.
I mean,
You just said when the machines go up. This guy paid him on January 25th. So the applications were filled out probably at the same time.
I can speak to the fact that it's my understanding that Mr. McAuliffe had changed an application because he changed the name of his business. And your point, sir, is absolutely correct. I will absolutely double check. We have not issued his license. I actually had a message from him today on what are the next steps. I will fully state that that may be my error in terms of the dollar amounts. I took over looking at liquor licenses from a woman who had been here and retired. I may have made that error, but what I would not have done, I actually have a meeting, you could call Mr. McAuliffe right now, that I indicated that I needed to speak with our attorney tomorrow on what the next steps were to make sure his application was correct and make sure that it was done correctly.
What's the new name, Steve?
Dottie's. He previously had it under a different name.
This is the Dottie's app.
Okay.
This is the one with the zero. No affidavit, no signature, no date, nothing. And that's part of the whole process, that being on the Liquor Commission, you're supposed to have all these steps done before accepting.
if you'd like to review this tomorrow, we'll actually have counsel there, and staff will have the documentation there. We're at a disadvantage here because we don't have all the records at our hand. So if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to.
Unfortunately, I beg to differ on that because it clearly states you can't even accept this until the $5,000 check comes with it. It's not notarized, and it's not even dated.
Thank you.
Well, you could just send me an email then, if you want, or I could, well, I did for you, and this is what I gave you.
We'll review it. We'll review it. Thank you.
After barely surviving a major drubbing by the excavator, Mayor Seaman had to answer questions about why they spent so much money on plaques and Waterford clocks.
$1,600 on 18 plaques. Were those plaques for miscellaneous employees, or was those for like the wrestling team? Or I missed out on the itemization of that. I was just curious why we spent $1,600 on plaques, and we bought 18 of them, and not one person has some general vague recollection. Well, I think 3 went to police, 2 went to fire, 1 went to, I mean, if we're giving out plaques, it should be an event that's memorable, right? I mean, one group here in the village of Tinley Park, they have a tradition of making out buttons for people when they achieve things, like one for the Excavator, one for Stuckley's Corner, something about somebody likes cheesy fries and stuff like that. I think they cost, what, $2 a button? That would represent savings of approximately $76 if the employee got 2 buttons. So I just want to encourage the board to start thinking outside the box and trying to save money. Let's try to start saving the citizens some money. Please, thank you for your time.
The gentleman asked a question about payments off the vendor reports. It seems that nobody really looks through those things before you sit up there and you vote on those. It makes me think back to about 3 or 4 years ago when I had a question about the Waterford clocks that the village board approved payment for, and they reimbursed the treasurer for those. Nobody had an idea where the 6 Waterford presentation clocks are. I don't think the public knows, maybe some of the board members don't know, what you vote on with regard to the vendor reports is pretty meaningless. And I'll give you 2 examples. One time I received a refund from a rainout from a concert on Oak Park Avenue, and I received a check before the board approved it. My wife received a refund from her parking permits that she turned back in, and she received that check before the board approved it. So I want to bring up the point. You gentlemen, apparently, it doesn't matter what's on that vendor report. Those checks go out. You're spending these people's money without even approving those things. So if you sit here at a board meeting and you say, I don't want Eberhard to get that $150 back, the hell with his wife getting her parking money back, we've already got our money. You spend $1 million a board meeting and you send the money out without approval. Can we just, maybe the village attorney has something to say about that. I would like to see the board approve it and know what they're approving before our money and our checks are sent out.
But no Tinley Park board meeting would be complete without everybody's favorite board member, TJ Grady, making stupid remarks.
Trustee Grady, I know you're the trustee for the public services, and I just had a quick question. I was wondering, what's the status with our fire department and our fire department chief? Is there anybody that we know that sooner or later is going to get hired, or is, how many candidates do we have? I was just curious.
Yes, someone's going to get hired.
Be willing to comment on how many applicants we have for that position?
It's not even public knowledge that we're looking for anybody yet, so 0.
It's not public knowledge that we're looking for a fire chief?
Obviously, it's public knowledge.